wait, I gotta do the math. 1, 2, 4 elementary schools. I didn't even realize she was an Olympian when I first met her. How big everything is. Wait, how do you know this person? We blend when we're planted. You could probably furnish a house with like 3 military families missing stuff. And then it was this one 20-something-year-old British guy who had no idea what he was doing. And so I'll mention something and they're like, wait, what's that restaurant? No, I've never had In-N-Out. What's that? And I was like, oh. Home is where the Navy sends us. There's less than 10 U.S. military teens in Singapore. And it was like she was still sitting next to me, but she knew.
Wait, I know Lily.
Yeah, it was Lily.
Freaking STEM.
Like, wait a minute,
my God.
What?
Okay.
A sticker on my bed. It's one of these stickers. The moving stickers.
Right.
We lost a mattress, like a twin-size mattress, but it's still like, how did they lose a mattress? There was a couple years where we had hotel Christmases, and so I can remember that and like setting up the tree.
Wow.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a landlocked state. What are we doing there? But my family calls them lists of possible possibilities. I accidentally broke a light bulb on the roof once. Wait, you do what? Huh? We have that? This is our place. We really like it. This is fun. I never expected myself to find myself wanting to be by the water.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Home is Where the Heart is. I'm Allie, your host and fellow military kid. I'm building this community as part of my Girl Scout Gold Award project to make sure no military kid has to navigate this life alone. My goal is to create a lasting space for us to find our footing no matter where the map takes us next. This is the spot where we can connect and share advice about all the highs, lows, and messy in-betweens of life on the move. And if you're not a military kid, you're still welcome. Gain some empathy and learn something new. So, if you've ever packed your life into a box, survived your first day at a new school, or wondered what it's like to do those things, you're in the right place. Because here, home isn't just a place, it's where your heart is. So, today I'm going to be talking to Zoey. And Zoey, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Zoey. My dad's active duty Navy, and right now we are stationed in Singapore. This is our second time being stationed here. We absolutely love it. Outside military life, I love to read. I read all the time. I also crochet, and I love hanging out with my friends, both new and old.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you on the podcast today. So Zoey actually emailed me and she said, I love your project and I want to talk about my story. And I said, this is exactly what I'm so excited. You don't understand. I was like, Mom, look what the email I got. And that just shows if you want to be on my podcast, share your story with me because I so want to hear it. And now me and Zoey are friends. So you should email me and share your story.
The email was so long.
I was so excited. You don't understand. Okay, Zoey, tell me everywhere you've lived in order. Give us the list.
Okay. Wait. I gotta like prep myself for it.
Okay, you can go slow.
Yeah, I got this. I was born in North Carolina. We were there for like 8 months, I think. Then we were in Maryland. My dad was at the Naval Academy teaching. That was pretty cool. And we were there for about 2 years, and that's where my brother was born as well. Then we were in Rhode Island for about 7 months. Then Seattle, Washington for about 18 months. And then same with San Diego before we came to Singapore the first time for about 2.5 years. Then we were in Virginia Beach for about 1. And then we were in San Diego again for another 2 years. Then Pittsburgh for 3. And then we've been back in Singapore since June of 2023.
Okay, that is quite the list you got.
Yeah.
What do you think stands out most to you? Let's say comparing America to Singapore. What's the biggest difference between Singapore and the U.S.?
It's both countries are such a big melting pot of cultures, but I feel like in Singapore it's a lot more distinct that you can see the different like cultures that are around here. There's 5 national languages of Singapore, so one of them being English, but then there's Mandarin Chinese, Malay, Tamil. I'm blanking on the other one right now, but it's so much. If you walk into a hawker center, which is basically an open air food court, first off, it's also cheap. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's such good food, but you can literally get anything you want at like any place. So like awesome. If you walk into one of those, there's going to be Indian food, there's Chinese food, there's Malaysian food, there's usually an attempt at Western food with some sort of burger or pizza, but I love me the local foods. It's so good.
Oh yeah, I'm so jealous. I'm totally with you. The culture overseas is, why can America be like this? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay, what was the most surprising place you lived? Like you had expectations about it and then you came here. Was it Singapore or was it a random state you didn't think was going to be like that? And then
I mean, when we first came to Singapore the first time, I was 7. And so I think I was more just like, oh, we're going someplace new. And I was just kind of along for the ride. And then the second time, like, I knew what to expect because it did change a lot. There's a lot of construction all over the place everywhere.
Mhm.
But even that I was kind of expecting. I think the most surprising place was Pittsburgh, just because as a Navy family, we were not expecting that place at all. It
Right.
was not even like on our radar of things we could do. And my dad ended
Sometimes,
up working with recruiting, which was cool.
yeah.
But we were like, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a landlocked state. What are we doing there? But we had no idea we were going to love it so much there.
And that's so awesome. What did you love so much about Pittsburgh?
It felt like we clicked really fast, which is so interesting to not have such a
Mhm.
long time where it's like we're still figuring it out, getting settled or whatnot. And we found people that we like to be around. Me and my brother started getting involved in different activities that we were super excited about that
Mhm.
didn't really have options in previous places. I think it also had to do with the age I was. So it was middle school. So those were like very formative years in your life.
For
And
sure.
I found myself, I guess you could say. It was amazing. We loved it there.
Yeah, and that's really special, and maybe that goes to show, like, I love how the military's like, "You like, where do you wanna go? Make a little list." And you're like, "Okay," and you, like, write down your wish list, and Santa does
Yeah.
not bring
No,
you what you asked for.
nope.
Usually it's but sometimes it's something even better, you know? And that's
Yeah.
so maybe coincided with an age where you're becoming, like, forming your
Mhm.
identity and whatnot in middle school, but you mentioned in one of your emails your sports and rowing you discovered,
Yes.
right? Wasn't that in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh?
Yes, that was. And so I think I actually wrote an article on Bloom about this, so go check out Bloom.
We'll put the link in the description.
Yeah. But I had grown up obviously around water, being a Navy kid, like on ships most of the when I was really little, and like
Mm.
constantly being able to go to the beach or the pool. But those were never the places that I wanted to be. I'm not a beach person. I don't generally choose to go to the pool or whatnot. If we're at a hotel by beach, I will sit with my book on a lounge chair and or my
Mhm.
Kindle, and that's where I want to be. But finding rowing was super random just because I never expected myself to find myself wanting to be by the water. And then in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, the one place where we weren't like 20 minutes away from the ocean is where I wanted to be on the water all the time, every
And that's really funny too. I don't know anything about rowing at all.
day.
So, what does that mean in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, so Pittsburgh is the city of the three rivers, even though my dad will tell you it's only two. But the Ohio River, Monongahela, and the Allegheny, the Monongahela and the Allegheny, big words, I know, they join together to be the Ohio. So it's not on an ocean, although ocean rowing is a very different thing, and it kind of scares me. But it's on little boats. I guess not really little. They can be upwards of like 40 to 60 feet sometimes, depending on how many
Okay.
people are in it. But we just kind of go down the river and it's a race. And so you go really fast and it's really fun
Wait, that's so cool. I've never.
because it is
What
very
kind of
different.
boat is it?
So it's a specific boat for rowing. And so there's like different rigs for the oars. And there's like two main disciplines. There's sculling if you're rowing with two oars. So that's what you would stereotypically think of if you're in a rowboat is like you have two oars, so you're sculling. Or what I
Uh-huh.
mostly did was sweeping. So it's one oar that's really long, like taller than me, most of the time taller than the roof. Like it was a whole thing
Uh-huh.
getting those out of the boathouse. I accidentally broke a light bulb on the roof once because I like
Ah.
knocked it down once. Um,
Oops.
oops. I just kind of like froze there holding it because I was a scared little freshman. Yeah.
So, what is that? You're like, oh, I'm a good rower. Like, do
Yeah.
you take tapes? Like, how to like I know like in soccer you have like positions and like in
Yeah.
baseball you like
So,
play
I mean,
bases. Like,
people
what do you?
definitely have their specific seats that they like to be. Or, like, if you're in the back, it's really weird because you sit backwards when you're going. And so, if you're in the back of the boat, you're the first person to cross the finish line out of all of you, but
Okay.
that would be the bow seat. And most of the time, that's like the strongest person because if you need to turn, most likely you're not going to have everyone in the boat like working on that turn. It's usually just going to be the back person. And
Mhm.
then same with the front person. That is the start. This it's backwards from Navy people. Port and starboard are backwards on these too because you're facing backwards. It's so weird.
So
Um,
much boat lingo. I'm kind of
yeah,
lost. Hopefully people
your
know what you're talking.
port side is in rowing, it's your right, and starboard is your left. But
I
in
believe
any
you.
other boat, it's backwards. But if you're in the front,
Interesting.
you're the stroke seat, and so basically you're setting the pace for everyone behind you, so you need really good stamina and be able to be like rhythmic with that. I was usually 2 seat, so I was right in front of the bow person. And then if you've seen it in the Olympics or any other random video, if there's somebody who's really short sitting in the front screaming at your face, that's the coxswain. Their job is to steer. They've got a little mechanism to be able to steer the boat, and they're watching to make sure you don't hit anything. But they're just as important, so.
So there's like row teams then? Like,
yeah, so crew teams, rowing teams. So I did it for my high school. My high school had a club. And yeah,
that's so cool.
We had a middle school developmental team. It was so
wow. Do you think, is it like a culture there, like the professional rowing teams around?
Not in Pittsburgh. I think like the U.S. national team is out of New Jersey, New York.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really like, we completely did not expect me to fall in love with it. I had a friend who was really into it and who convinced me like, hey, for freshman year you should try and you should do this with me. I want more friends on the team. And so me and another friend were like, sure, why not? We got nothing else to do. And surely enough, me and my best friend, we were like, yeah, this is our place. We really like it. This is fun.
It's so exciting. I love that.
And so like our team was a club team at our school, so it wasn't like it was even a big deal at our school either. And so even people at my school were like, wait, you do what? Huh? We have that? So yeah, it's not a super common sport, although I will say it's a lot more common in Europe.
Wow,
Europe and
that's
Asia
so
have
cool.
it like up and coming. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's so cool. Anyway, okay, going back to your places. So what was your favorite / best place? And you can say, okay, I'm with you.
Can I use a tie? Because like,
okay, so I feel like for me, there's places and then people. And for me, they're different. Best place, best people, or best school is even like 1, 2, 3. But okay,
but all
give
of
me
those
your
are
reasoning.
tied between 2 people. Pittsburgh and here in Singapore. Like, I have my best friends both in Pittsburgh and in Singapore.
Okay.
Best schools where I've had the most opportunities have both been Pittsburgh and Singapore. Singapore, we have such a tiny military community that we actually go to international schools in the area. It's not enough people to warrant a DoD school. So being able to be at school here, there's so many things that I definitely would not have been able to do at schools in the US. And it's really funny because if you've seen the movie Crazy Rich Asians, it is so accurate. It is so funny based on like the kids at my school, because not everyone is military or even American. We went to an American school, or my brother still goes. I just graduated.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting because there's people that have like never been to the US or never lived in the US. And so I'll mention something and they're like, wait, what's that restaurant? No, I've never had In-N-Out. What's that? And I was like,
that's so crazy.
I know.
That's also a very interesting tie. Like, if you're like, what ties Singapore? And you're like, Pittsburgh. And they're like, oh, what are you talking
about? Yeah, I know. It's so weird.
No, but it makes sense. Like, what you said about the rowing, the community. Like, I don't think it's like, I got
people,
you.
my places, my things, like, in both of those places.
Absolutely.
And, like, they don't come anywhere close to other places.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. And Zoey, where are you going to college?
I'm going to the University of Pittsburgh. I'm so excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So yeah, we just talked about why exactly, but that was kind of a short synopsis.
Yeah.
Now you're going from Singapore to Pittsburgh, and your family's probably going to be in Singapore for how much longer, do you think?
We're going to be here for another 3 years. That's the plan. So
that's pretty solid. You get to jet back and forth.
Yeah. Ooh, 16-hour flights. That's not going to be fun, but I will deal with
that
it.
layover, that jet lag.
Yeah. Oof.
But it's okay. You got it. Okay. What was the hardest place or the worst place to live? And you're like, get me out of here.
That's a really hard one. Because like,
tied between every other place besides Pittsburgh and Singapore.
Because Pittsburgh and Singapore were the newest or like most recent places. And before that, I was so much younger that honestly, I don't remember those moves as much. I know the hardest move was between San Diego and Pittsburgh, and then Pittsburgh and Singapore. Those were like the 2 hardest moves, just because I thought I had it all figured out, and then it's like, okay, now we're going again. But I don't think there's one specific place that I was like, no, I don't want to be here anymore, get me out.
Okay, well, I suppose that's good, because I feel like you shouldn't have that attitude about anything. But you did mention 7 months in Rhode Island.
Yeah, so I was like
So
3
did you
years
move
old,
during
so
this? Oh, so okay,
yeah.
so it didn't
So
really
like
matter. I was gonna say,
yeah,
I was gonna ask about schools because I've never
I
moved
wasn't
to
even
mid-year. I've
preschool.
always okay,
I
okay.
have moved to
So you're
mid-year
fine.
though. That was
Okay, when was
maybe
that?
in first grade. So that was December of 2014 when we
Okay,
moved from San Diego the first time to Singapore the first time. That I think I didn't even leave like mid semester. I think I left like right at Thanksgiving or so. I
dang.
think. Yeah, because we got to Singapore like December 9th or so. So I remember that being a little difficult just because I was like, I had my friends and like I was still starting school. It was like first grade.
Yeah,
So I remember being kind of just annoyed, but when I was little, I was very much just kind of like going with the flow. Like, okay,
for sure.
this is I don't know any different. This is just how it is. Because
Hmm.
we did move a lot more when I was younger and like more frequently. So I think I
Hmm.
was just kind of already used to it at that point.
Right. So it's just your dad, right?
Yeah.
I'm an Air Force kid, so tell me a little bit about like the Navy, how they do assignments. Like, why did you get an assignment or
Yeah.
orders like in November
I think it's
or
just
before November,
where,
I guess?
because some places will be an 18-month, like it depends. I think most overseas tours tend to be 3 years, but then in the US, it depends on the job. So
Right.
we were in Rhode Island, my dad was at like a school or a class. So I don't think the rest of my family had to move, but we just decided to go with him because me and my brother were so little. My brother was 2 weeks old at that point, and I was 3.
Wow.
So I think they were like, yeah, we're going all together. That makes a lot more sense.
Definitely.
Yeah. But then same thing like you were talking about with the lists. Like those we still got. My family calls them lists of possible possibilities because we know they can change like all completely and we can end up with something not on the list at all.
No, that's how it was moving here. We were so confused.
Yeah.
Like, but
Mm.
we had like the list and they were like Norfolk and they were like, is that what it is? Like we get like how to
Yeah.
search up on Google Maps the Navy business. So we were really
Yeah, and
confused
there's
too.
like 5 Navy bases around there. There's so
It's
many
the
down there.
biggest like that
Yeah.
the one in Virginia Beach or Norfolk like Naval
Mhm.
that's like the biggest
Yeah.
one in the world. So
Yeah.
there's so many kids.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
That
'Cause
one
my
was super
sisters were
random when we ended up there too. So
yeah, so
yeah.
we have actually both lived here.
Yeah.
So basically you love Singapore and Pittsburgh, which is like so
Yes.
random, but I'm so
Yes.
here for it. So what does home mean to you?
It's definitely about what I get into at the time. It's not necessarily the place itself, but the people I surround myself with and the things that I'm doing with them. As long as I have my books and my crochet stuff and all those little random things that I love to do or have with me, then I'm set. And like that's home to me.
Absolutely. So wouldn't you say like home is where the heart is, you know?
Yes. 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 Or my family loves to say home is where the Navy sends us. Like we have this little
Yes.
hanging thing, like with all the places we've lived, that's like home is where the Navy sends us, and then it has like the years we were there and the
Oh,
place, and
how
it's like this little
cute.
hanging thing. But I think we're like 3 behind. We need to like fix that.
I want to say we have one too that I haven't seen it in 4 years. So I don't know if
Yeah.
I have it anymore. Maybe it broke somewhere. But yeah, no, and that mindset I think is really important to have because you're probably just gonna be miserable otherwise.
Yeah.
So where does your family live
My
in the
family
US?
is like all over the place. My dad's from
Okay.
Oregon, my mom's from California, but then we have family in Texas, Kentucky, Idaho, like
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, I think. My godfather lives in Pennsylvania. So we're just kind of all over the place in general, but my dad is the only military one. Everybody else is just wherever they end up for whatever reason.
Okay. So that helps a little. I know some people that have like a big deposit, a family. Like that's where my
Mhm.
home is, even though like I've never lived there. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's I think those are always cool. But yeah, I'm
Mhm.
kind of the same as you. My family lives in California, Texas, Georgia,
Mhm.
Pennsylvania, I think. Yeah. Ohio.
It's funny, we got a lot of the same places.
No, literally. Maybe we're actually secret cousins or something.
Whoa.
Small world. You always
Whoa.
okay. Okay, we're gonna talk about we kind of talked about this a little, but we're gonna talk about moving some more. So
Mhm.
You said you moved a lot, like, mostly when you were younger. So what was
Yeah.
your first PCS you remember in vivid detail?
I think the one I remember most is the first one from San Diego to Singapore, just because of how involved overseas moves can be. Like, I remember setting the specific toys that I wanted to put in the unaccompanied baggage one versus like what I could wait for in the like household goods one.
Mhm.
But I remember like bits and pieces from ones earlier than that. Like all the road trips, or for a while we were moving mid-year. We were or not mid-year, but we were moving in Virginia. Well, I'm moving in December for a while. So there was a couple years where we had hotel Christmases, and so I can remember that and like setting up the tree,
Wow.
and things like that. But I think the one that I remember in its entirety is San Diego to Singapore.
Yeah, I have never even considered that. A hotel Christmas? That's
Hmm.
so insane to me.
Yeah, I
So,
think I've had like 3 or 4.
I wanted to ask this. How
Mhm.
long does it take for your overseas goods to get there? Because some people don't know how long it takes
Mhm.
for your stuff
It
to come
takes
from
about.
America.
It depends on where you're going. Singapore, it's been like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
Coming from either San Diego or Pittsburgh, it was about 2 to 3 months.
that's a
Yeah.
pretty long time to be with
Yep.
the we call it TLF furniture or loaner furniture, whatever you wanna
Yep.
call it. Okay, my overseas experience from Alabama to Korea, it
Mhm.
was the same, 2 or 3 months, I
Mhm.
wanna say.
Yeah.
I
I
wanna
think
say
for most
closer to
places it is.
2.
Mhm.
But when we were going from Korea to Germany, I think it was
Mhm.
longer than that. Our took forever. My parents ended up getting
Mhm.
a car. We, like, got
Mhm.
one while we were there because the rental thing was just, like, insane. Because we got there in July, and our car didn't get there till October.
Oof.
So and I can't
That's
even imagine a hotel Christmas. Like, that breaks my heart a little bit, but I hope it
yeah.
was
I
still a
think
good Christmas.
it was fun because like it's still like I would wake up and all my presents would be there. Like Santa
Mhm.
still came and everything.
That's good. He
Um,
didn't forget you.
like yeah, I woke up and we had like one year I got a tent and like that was all set up, and so it took off for
Aw.
like most of our free space in that hotel room. But I
Yeah.
had the time of my life when I was playing in there, and like it was honestly kind of fun because I would wake up and immediately it was there. Versus like anytime we've been in a house, my parents are like, "You cannot leave your room until we come and get you to bring you
Yeah,
downstairs."
that's my family too. Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
that's insane. That is something you're so resilient. Okay, I know. I'm
Oh.
sorry, I'm sorry. I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. Yeah, that's how it be sometimes. That's life.
Yeah.
And I always forget, like, there's a whole like, there's so many fonts of military kids, for real. Like,
Mhm.
there's so many.
Mhm.
And there's the mid-year, and every branch obviously is unique,
Yeah.
and then even within the branch, there's different jobs, enlisted
Mhm.
officer. It's a lot, and your story
Yeah.
is so cool. Okay. Um, okay, do you have something really funny that you've lost that you wanna tell a story about in a move?
Oh,
Like the movers lost?
yes. We lost a mattress, like a twin size mattress. And it was when we were going from San Diego to Pittsburgh, and we don't know how this happened. It's just like all of our stuff got unpacked, and we had the box spring for that bed, but no
Uh-huh.
mattress. It ended up working out really well because the Navy just keeps dangling like a little carrot in front of him, and he's like, okay. Me and my brother each have a twin bed, and then we had a queen bed that's like was our guest room bed. And so that was our plan for that house, is we were gonna have a guest room slash office, and me and my brother were each gonna have the twin bed. But then my brother decided he wanted to have the queen bed in his room, so the twin bed was gonna be in the office. So it ended up working out that we didn't need that one anyway. But it's still like, how did they lose a mattress?
That's it's like,
We saw
literally
it get loaded on the truck. Like, where'd it go?
that's insane, and then you're, like,
Mhm.
thinking about it, you're like, "Did someone just rifle through our stuff and just
Yeah.
take what was on top?" Like,
Yeah.
what?
So like we had the box spring, we had the frame, just no mattress.
That's so absurd. In my experience, when we were moving from Alabama to Korea, our movers were not very great, and we weren't doing
Mm.
Diddy moves at this point because now we just do
Mhm.
Diddy moves. So we were being annoying. You know, I was a 4th
Mhm.
grader going into 5th, and then my brother was 1st, and then my youngest sister was kindergarten. So we were little.
Mhm.
We were like annoying my mom, and she was like, "Go make sure the movers didn't miss anything. Go through the house and get away from me." Basically, is what she said.
Uh-huh.
I love you, mom. But we went to the kitchen, and all of our pots and pans were still there. And our house was like everything else was empty. Like, this is like our last day in the house. All of our pots and pans are still there. All of our spatulas, like a ton of other cookware. I want to say like our crock pot, like spatulas,
Oh
and
no.
then like our nice set of like everyday like the frying.
Uh-huh.
Like, it was probably like 6 or 10 because we have a big family too. So like
Uh-huh.
nice pots and pans. And my dad was like fuming. He was like, "Are we serious? Like, it was our last day in the house." So we
Yeah.
called the movers. They came back, and they gave him another packing slip because we had our shipment of stuff, and then we had like the second, like the pots and pans they forgot. And my dad, he was like, I know we're never gonna see these again. So he like kept the packing slip because that was like literally the only proof of like we had more stuff. We never saw them again. And like my dad knew that was gonna happen, so he was just like ready to file the claims. But if that ever happens to you,
claims take forever.
Oh my gosh!
For like everything that gets broken. Like literally. One time we have like when we were moving to Pittsburgh, so many things got just like scratches or like, got dented. We had a toaster oven that like got dented and it wasn't usable anymore, or just random things like that. And then they'll try to say they'll find like an equivalent, but it's not really an equivalent.
It's so for my family too. Like my family too. It's not about the money. We just don't want our stuff ruined. You know, like we have this sentimental object. You dented it. And that's kind of like you just have to.
We had this glass cake stand that got broken.
Oh. Yeah. And it's not about like the cake stand. It's behind. Yeah. Maybe that was at your parents' wedding. You know, like it's not.
Yeah. It was from when my parents were in college and like when they were still. So
it was sentimental. Like you didn't want another cake stand. You wanted that cake stand. You didn't want it cracked or broken or whatever.
Yeah.
So that sucks. Let's see. What else? I feel like. And it's really not just mind you. So the same thing or similar thing happened. I told you this in an email. We were going from Germany to New Jersey, and like half of my bed was missing. We had like the bed frame and like the legs of the bed, like that was missing. So I had like the headboard and then the box spring. And this one, it was all in the same shipment. So I have no idea who decided they needed a new only half my bed.
Rug, so I don't know where it went.
Right. Same thing with like this one, like maybe someone needed to sleep somewhere. And they needed to twin match. Maybe they took your mattress and half of my bed and someone else's headboard.
Yeah. Or honestly, not everyone uses a headboard. They might have just done it without a headboard.
From the whole bed with our missing stuff. That's so funny.
You could probably furnish a house with like 3 military families missing stuff.
No. I love that. I'll supply the kitchen. That's so funny. Okay, this is like an obvious question. Do you think that you would be a different person if you stayed in one place?
100%. There's so many things that I wouldn't have found in certain places or like wouldn't have done, like rowing, for example, or I wouldn't have learned crochet because I learned that from a friend in one spot. I speak Spanish because in one place I went to a dual immersion program. Like there's so many little things that like I just pick up along the way, you know? Yeah.
Do you ever think about it? What if like you ever go to a place and you're like, what if I grew up here and lived my whole life here? Like how would I be different?
Yeah.
Like I get that all the time. I don't know what it's called, but like I'm like, if I lived in New Jersey forever, maybe I would be like an introverted violin player who plays soccer because that's what I did in New Jersey. I played violin,
There's so
soccer.
Many different sports. It's like when I was little, I wanted to do. For some reason, I was super into watching Irish dancing videos. That I was like, and I went up to my mom. It was right when we were moving to Virginia. I was like, I want to do this, and I found like a dance studio in Virginia that I wanted to do it. And then she was like, sure, yeah, That never happened. Like I never did it. Or like I was really into watching ice skating. That I was like, what if I lived like in Pittsburgh? So many people did hockey or ice skating. Like one of my best friends played hockey, and so the one time I went ice skating with her, she was going in circles around me, and I was like about to fall on my butt.
It's so crazy because
it's so weird.
You pick up so many things, and like we're like mosaics of people. Like,
yes.
So it's like
we bloom when we're planted.
Facts. At Bloom Military Teens. We're gonna talk about friendships. Okay, what's your biggest tip for making friends quickly?
Okay. Don't be super shy and do the things you like. I feel like those are so simple, but I met my best friends because of like classes I wanted to take or activities that I got involved in. Like my best friend in Pittsburgh, I met her because of choir, and then we did musical together, and then we joined rowing together, and we just kind of stuck together like glue. And then here in Singapore, I met my best friends in Spanish class and then in theater again. So like yesterday I was hanging out with that friend from theater because I met her in theater, and we just kind of stuck together, and like she became my person here. So like find those activities and things, and you will find those people, because people that have the same likes and interests will just gravitate towards you, and you'll gravitate towards them.
I think that's really important, not to lose yourself. Like don't get psyched out. if everyone
Yeah.
there likes different, like if you feel like you show up on the first day of school and everyone likes different things, there are people out there who
Mhm.
have similar interests to you. Like
Mhm. It just might take a little bit.
don't be quick to chameleonize into the environment.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
obviously like
Especially
adapt whatever, but
mhm.
not too fast.
Especially if like it takes a bit for schools to start getting activities. Like I know most high schools have like club fairs and whatnot. You might just
Hmm.
have to wait a couple weeks before you find your spot, but I'm sure you'll find people in like classes randomly or like in the hallway.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Or like one friend, I became friends with her because we had the same shirt and we walked into each other and realized we were wearing the same shirt.
Aw, how cute. What a meet cute.
Yeah.
Um,
That's such a
yeah,
book term.
I really like your advice. I think that's very important. And I also think that just staying true to yourself. Like if if you're throwing away who you are every time you move somewhere, you're not gonna have any you left, you know?
Mhm.
Like you have to find those hobbies, find those interests, and you can just read a book or crochet on your own before you join a book club or a
Yeah.
crochet club, you know? So definitely. Okay,
Okay. I just
what do
reached down
you
and I found a
okay,
sticker on my bed. It's one of these stickers. The moving stickers.
crying. That is so for
That's
years
okay.
after the movie, like what movie is this
Yes.
even from?
And who knows if this is even from the most recent move. Like the
That's
stickers that get just
hilarious.
stuck on your furniture or on the boxes. That was my favorite thing to do when I was little is sit with my parents, whichever one was like marking off the number of the box that came into the house. And then I reached down because my water bottle's on the floor and I realized that this is on the underside of my bed.
Oh my god. That's
Okay.
hilarious.
That's
Middle kid
funny.
core. Middle kid
Mm-hmm.
core. In the Air Force, ours are like little rectangles, and they have like the number.
Yeah,
We have a whole Christmas ornament with them. Like when we moved, because
that's
we only
smart.
do them
That's fun. We've never done
because
a
we.
Diddy move. That is something my family's never
I
done.
don't know if I recommend. Okay, so for my family, it makes sense because my parents are like they've never had a good experience with movers. They're
Mm-hmm.
still like, if you know a great moving company, let me know because we have not found a company that, like, my parents are just like, yep, you can take our stuff because they want
Mm-hmm.
to pack our stuff well so nothing gets
Mm-hmm.
broken.
Yeah.
And we did pretty good. I don't think really anything broke between New Jersey and Alabama for that
That's
move. Oh yeah, and also I have a big family, so it's
mm-hmm.
the three oldest kids. We can all help pack, and then we
Mm-hmm.
just get a couple like big friends, tall people who can help
Mm-hmm.
carry stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway,
Little sidetracked there.
right. Have you ever stopped yourself from getting close because you knew you were going to be leaving?
Yes. I think I definitely tried at the beginning of the Pittsburgh one because that was the one place that we've been where we're like, okay, we've been told it's 3 years. We know it's definitely going to be 3 years. Like this would be a weird move and a weird job to cut short. And so
Mhm.
I think at the start I was kind of hesitant just because I knew it was only going to be for so short of time. Or long in military standards being 3 years, but short in the grand scheme of things. And then
Mhm.
towards the end, I moved there 7th grade, which that was an interesting. We drove from California to Pittsburgh. That was interesting being during COVID, like no bathrooms and
Ah,
rest stops were open.
interesting.
But being there 7th grade, 8th grade, and then 9th grade, I noticed myself in 9th grade kind of starting to like say no to hanging out with people outside of school, aside from a couple really close people, just to like try to make it easier. Because that was I also got a phone for the first time while we were living there, and so I think part of
Mhm.
it was just like I wasn't used to the option to be able to stay in contact with people, and so I
Mhm.
think that was also just messing with it. That it's like, wait, I don't need to do that. I don't need to make it easier on myself because this thing makes it easier to stay in contact with people. So
Mhm. That's definitely totally valid in that feeling. So, having done that, what changed during that move, and would you recommend someone doing what you did? What mindset should they have going into a move?
you should go into it knowing that like you are trying to keep it because a lot of the times it might just you might just fade out of touch with people and that's okay, but you don't have to
Absolutely.
go in expecting that or expecting that to not happen. It's so different depending on the people and the person, because I know especially coming here, like time differences is a big thing if you're going from coast to coast or if you're going overseas or if you go into just a different spot where there's a slight time difference, like
Mm-hmm.
that could make an issue. Like there's people that I haven't FaceTimed or talked face to face in a couple months, but I still like respond to their Instagram stories or different things like that like I'm still involved with them and they're still involved in my life. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not completely losing them. But it is a different thing, and like it's okay to validate that like it is going to be a different relationship. It's going to change,
Right.
but like it's not stopped.
I think that every move you should try to live it to the fullest. And I know like
Yeah.
that sounds hard, but if you live it at half the effort, you're gonna have like half the fun, half the
Yeah.
But especially going into super duper short moves, I still think it's important to live it to the fullest.
Yes, for
If
sure.
anyone's wondering. But you said something about COVID. So how was COVID during your moves? Did it affect any of your moves? Did it delay orders?
Yeah.
Did it do anything like that?
It didn't delay anything. We actually it's funny, not funny. We found out we were moving to Pittsburgh a week before schools and everything shut down. So like
Okay.
everybody was aware that we were going, and like in our little like weekly Zoom calls with my elementary school class, like we were still like aware of it, and like but that was also my elementary school was K through 6 there. So it was in between 6th grade and 7th grade. So at the same time a bunch of people were leaving, it wasn't like we were all going to stay in touch anyways cuz going to different middle schools in the area. So I think that was COVID definitely helped a little bit just to ease the transition, just like cuz we weren't seeing each other every day anyway. So that kind of made it easier, but then at the same time like I was going into middle school and we weren't going to see each other every day anyway. So,
and also like social isolation in general is hard.
Yeah.
But I totally like that. I didn't think about it like
I'm
that.
an introvert, so I honestly kind of liked it.
It was an aid to get you adapted for sure.
Yeah.
I was overseas completely for COVID, so I have no idea. Like I was like watching the news, I was like, what in the heck is going on? Like, yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Who's your longest friend? Like, who have you stayed in touch with the longest?
So Katie and Tara, you two.
Hi Katie and Tara.
Yeah. Katie is in Pittsburgh, and I met her at the beginning of 8th grade, I think.
Okay.
Is like I would consider her my longest, bestest friend. But then a couple other people that I met in 7th and 8th grade in Pittsburgh that I'm still really close to. So Sydney, or Reagan, and Elena, hello. And then Tara is my closest one, as well as Kayla and Mia from Singapore. So both of them I met my sophomore year.
Okay. People, my friends, make fun of me all the time because I'm like, oh, you're like best friends. We're such good best friends. And they're like, you have multiple best friends. Why would you say that to us? Like, you're so polygamous. Like, you're cheating on all of us. I was like, oh my gosh. But I'm glad there's someone else out there who has multiple best friends. It's not like you love any of them any less. You just have multiple best friends. You forge connections.
Yeah, because they're all in different places, and so they met me at different times in my life. So they got very different versions of me, and they're getting to see different versions of me progress. So it's like, and same with me and them. Like, I'm seeing them grow and change every day as well.
Absolutely. And I love that for you. I will say part of the connections you get, like, don't you feel like you could just drive around America and like stay at people's houses?
Oh, yeah.
Like I think I have just a friend in every country in Europe and every state. Like I got a place. I know somebody.
Yeah, and it's so random. Like lately, every couple months, I'll go on Instagram and I'll try to find somebody from elementary school or like early moves, and I'll find people, and then I realize the random mutual connections that we have with other people, whether it's military or not. And I'm like, wait, how do you know this person? So I found a couple people from elementary school, and then from elementary school, and just random places that like I've got California, Virginia, I have a friend in Florida now, and all these places that I'm like, yeah, I could definitely drive around and just stay at different people's houses.
Yeah, that's so like I just like that's one of my favorite parts about military life is just the network. And also it's such a small world. The mutual thing.
Yes.
Like when I moved to Korea, there was a girl from kindergarten in Alaska, and then 5th grade in Korea. She was like in the same place. We hadn't seen each other. So like just random things. And have you ever like ran into somebody from a couple years ago? Anytime recently?
Recently, I found one of my best friends that like we were stationed in Virginia or in Singapore together, and then we
Mm-hmm.
both moved to Virginia together,
Okay.
and then but our dads did completely different things. Like it was so random that
Interesting.
we ended up like
Coincidence, yeah.
following each other there. And then I found her on Instagram, and she's the one who I saw the mutual connection. And I was like, wait, how do you know this person? That's crazy. Turns out the
Yeah.
person that was a mutual also was stationed in Virginia at the time with us. And so like I
What?
didn't meet Lily until like a few months ago through Bloom, but she knew.
Wait, I know Lily.
Yeah, it was Lily.
Freedom
And I was
STEM.
like, wait a
Oh my
minute,
God.
what?
That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So turns out all three of our families were stationed in Virginia at the same time. I knew Kate's family. Kate knew Lily's family. And then I met Lily in the past year, and I reconnected with Kate like last month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's my favorite part of military life.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for someone moving away from their best friend?
Try to make a plan to stay in contact, but know that that is not always going to work. So, like, I went into it with my friend Katie. We were like, okay, we're going to keep texting, we're going to FaceTime, we're going to figure out a schedule and all that. Things got in the way. We both got so busy with different activities, and it being senior year, we were, at least this year, it got even harder. But just knowing that we still had each other and we were still thinking of each other, that definitely helped me. Like, and then she also made me, let's see, it's all the way on the other side of my room, but she made me this little box of paper hearts that it's like, open me if you feel sad, if you feel homesick, if you feel mad or angry. And so it felt like I was still talking to her, because like when I was feeling those things, I was reading those little letters, and it was like she was still sitting next to me. So I think for people, even you could do this if you're the one moving away, or if that person is moving away from you, like just to try to keep that connection still there.
I actually did that for my best friend when I left Germany.
Oh,
that's so
awesome.
funny. Yeah, it's really sweet. And she still like texts me because I did it way out. Like I did a lot. So she's still opening them. And it's really cool. And I love that for you. That's so I agree with that. And it is important. Like it is totally okay to drift apart. Like it doesn't mean they love you any less.
Normal.
Like and you guys are literally far away. Like we're also so young. We're not adults yet. Well, maybe some of us are. Wait a minute, I'm 17. Some of us aren't adults.
Yeah.
But
or then,
it
like,
is
there's
totally
no
normal.
guarantee you would have stayed in contact with them if you stayed in the same place anyway.
Absolutely.
Things happen, like fights or just kind of just growing away in interest if you start to get involved in different things. So.
Yeah. So you don't. I like what you said. Like, don't necessarily even blame the move. Like, it's maybe it was meant to happen for a reason.
Yeah.
You know. So 10 out of 10 advice. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna talk about schools because you also went to international school, which is cool.
But that is such a weird thing for military, because usually if you're overseas, you go to Dodea schools, and I didn't.
Yeah. Did you ever go to a overseas Dodea school? Just never.
I evaded them my entire life. Yeah. We were close to going to Sasebo in Japan once, but then we ended up in Virginia instead.
That nobody ever wants to hear that sentence. Like, oh, you could go to Japan, but actually you're going to Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So your elementary, you're moving around a lot, right?
So I think I went to, I gotta do the math, 1, 2, 4 elementary schools, although one of them was the same. I just counted as 2 because it was 2 different times, so things changed, and it was very different. I agree. Yeah.
And you were a new kid twice, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Okay. So that's unique. Do you think, like, you look back on it and you're like, that was really hard, or you're like, that was chill, I just moved?
Yeah, because elementary, I was so used to it. I was like,
and they're so like elementary kids are so bouncy. Right.
Yeah. Like it was just a thing that I did. Like, okay, I'm going to a new school. Okay, bye people. Or then I know when I was younger, when I would move away, I was like, I'll be back. I'll come back. I don't think I fully realized that like I might not. Although for San Diego, I did come back. And that was really interesting because I went to the same school and it was a lot of the same people. And so I would run into somebody like every day for the first week, and they're like, wait, you did come back.
Oh, my heart. I love that. Okay, so that was elementary school, and then middle school was Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So I did all of middle school in Pittsburgh.
Okay, so it was Pittsburgh middle school, and then Pittsburgh high school, and then Singapore high school.
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not bad though. You got the best
Mhm.
places like
Yeah.
later in life when you're
Yeah.
developing. Okay, I see you. Let's see. What's like your favorite school memory? I don't know what that means, but you fill in the blank.
I don't know. There's so
Favorite school
many.
memory?
Like, I feel like senior year had so many things. Like, if you think
As
of
senior
Singapore,
does.
one of the things you'd probably think of if you know anything about Singapore is Marina Bay Sands, the hotel that looks like a boat floating in the air on these like three
Okay.
pillars. Um, our school, it became just like, it's not run by the school or anything. This just became a tradition that most seniors will go to this one spot nearby where you have a really good view of Marina Bay Sands, and we wear uniforms at our. I say wear. I graduated. I'm not going to that school anymore. We wore uniforms, and it's like a white polo shirt. And so usually, if you're moving or if you're graduating, everybody signs your shirt. And so it became
Aw.
just a thing that seniors will go near MBS and we'll sign each other's shirts. And so I got there at like 6:30 in the morning on the last day of school for seniors, and it was so fun because we were all just running around taking pictures and signing each other's shirts, and then we were all trying to figure out how we were getting back to school, whether we were taking the train or if we were getting a Grab or the version of Uber that we have here, to get back. And it was like, I ended up getting in a car with 5 other people, like 5 of my friends, because one of my friends saw me, was like, "Hey Zoey, we have an extra seat in the car. It's here. Let's go, let's go." And so it was so hectic, but it was so fun.
I love that. That international schools experience is something that's
Yeah.
so unique, even like for a
Mhm.
military kid. We're all
Yeah.
unique, blah blah blah. But that's so cool. So, what was the biggest difference between international school and American or Dodea? I guess. Well, you never been. You know what I mean.
It's such a different group of people. Like we at our school, and because Singapore is so small, so many people are moving every couple years. It's not just the embassy people, it's not just the US military people.
Mhm.
Or like in our neighborhood, there's a lot of Australian military as well, and New Zealand military. And so
Mhm.
you're getting exposed to so many different cultures. Like we didn't really have all of the American holidays off of school. So like we still had school on Veterans Day, we had school on Labor Day,
Hmm.
but we have the Singapore Labor Day off of school. We have all of these different holidays that are so Singaporean or Asian, despite going to an American school. And so that was really fun because we would have like these different, like the PTA would run different things for, like, we would have a Diwali celebration in November. We would have something for Hari Raya in March before spring break. And so getting exposed to all those things, even because when both times we lived in Singapore, me and my brother went to this school. And so being able to see all those cultures and all that, I think that is really an amazing thing to be stationed over here.
Absolutely, and that exposure is also
Mhm.
very
Yeah.
cool. So, your international school. So, what was the makeup of the population?
I
Of
want to
like
say it was
like
mostly
what did their
Americans.
parents like Americans and like what
Yeah.
did their parents do? Were they
Just
business CEOs or like what?
yeah. Or we had like, I had a couple friends whose parents worked for Kellanova, which is like Kellogg's and that type of thing.
Okay.
There's the embassy group, there's the military kids.
Uh-huh.
But even like the military kids, we were such a small community, even in my
Mhm.
school, because there's a couple different there's like 71 international schools in Singapore, despite
Wow.
Singapore being the size of Manhattan or like Chicago. Like, we're a small country here, but there's
Crazy.
so many, and then there's like 3 or 4 that most Americans who live in Singapore will go to. So
Okay.
even if the military community is so small, it gets split up even more with who is in what school. So it's mostly Americans, but then you get the Singapore, and like there's like every other country represented as well. And the teachers are from like everywhere. So last year, like my choir director, she's from North Dakota, but my math teacher junior year was from Kenya, and my forensic science teacher was from New Zealand. So it's so intercultural, and every day I'm learning something new. One of my best friends here is Australian.
Oh,
I love her accent; it's wonderful.
that's so cute.
Especially because she was raised like her mom is a teacher at the school. And
Mhm.
so she sounds American except for little words that she's like, I'm like, Kayla, your Aussie's coming out.
That's so cute. Yeah, in the melting pot, like we talked about, like you said,
Mhm.
even more so in America. That's
Yeah.
very, very cool. I will say, so I believe I know the answer to this, but for people
Mhm.
who are listening, since you don't have a day of school, does it cost money to go to international school?
For the most part, no. So we get funding through Department of State to be able to cover
Okay.
it all.
And that's tuition.
However,
Because
yes,
it's yeah.
tuition and then uniforms are not covered. Busing is covered. And then
Okay.
for like school trips, for the most part, it'll be covered. But we've gotten itemized bills for that because the Department of State and DSP will not cover lodging on overnight trips, which I find really interesting. Because like you would
This
think
is
that would be part
interesting.
of it. Random little things that's like maybe it will, maybe
Interesting.
it won't.
Okay. That's definitely, like I said, interesting to note.
Yeah.
How does it feel going to college?
Oh, it's such a weird feeling. I was saying this before we started recording, but like it feels like I'm PCSing, but it's
Right.
just me. Like my family's staying here and it's just me
Oh, so
going.
crazy.
It's so weird. And it's like I'm so excited. And I don't think I feel like had I not been a military kid, had I not moved around so much, I would have been a lot more nervous going this far
Especially
away
so
from home.
far. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But like I'm used to it. I'm ready for it. Like, let's go. I'm ready to
Are you
go. It's
excited?
I have like
Yeah.
2.5 weeks before I leave, and I need to pack. But that's another thing.
Uh-huh. Do you
Yeah.
have to pack are you shipping stuff or are you packing it all in a checked bag?
We could have done an unaccompanied baggage allotment, but we just realized it didn't make sense because I didn't need to send that much. So we're gonna try to make it work in like 4 suitcases.
Okay.
But then there's gonna be a lot of things that we need to get once we get there.
Like dorm
Cause
stuff.
yeah, like sheets, towels, that type of thing.
Interesting.
We're gonna be
That's
hitting
so
up
crazy.
Target and IKEA when we get there for sure.
Yeah. So, how did you pick your college? People who aren't military are like, I want to live on the East Coast away from my parents. And some people are like, I
Yeah.
want to stay on the West Coast by my, like, so how did you
Yeah.
pick?
So I first started by I was like, I want to be on the East Coast. I want to get away from the West Coast. I like the cold. I like the seasons.
Okay.
Singapore does not get seasons. It is hot all year round. It's like 90 degrees year round. Very humid.
Insane.
It's either raining or bright and sunny. There is no in between. So I was like, I want the cold. I miss the snow. And then we had been stationed in Pittsburgh, and when we were stationed there, I was like, I want nothing to do with a campus that's in the middle of a city. And I think this is a really good idea for any military family, even if you don't think you're going to be moving a ton or living overseas when it's time to start looking at colleges. Start early. Like my family, even in middle school, if we were driving through a place with a college campus, we stopped and walked around and looked at it. So being able to have that while living overseas really helped because I already kind of had it in my head what I did or did not want.
Mhm.
But going back to when we were living in Pittsburgh, I was adamantly opposed to looking at Pitt. I was like, I don't want to be there. It's in the middle of a city. I'm not interested. And then I started
Mhm.
looking into details of like different programs and offerings at the school, and I'm like, wait, this is exactly what I want. I take back what I said when we lived there. I want to go there. That's my number one school. And so now I'm going back to somewhere I've been stationed, which is an amazing feeling because I think that's also really helping the transition. Is like I still
Mhm.
have friends there. I know my way around the city. Like I know
Yes, that's
generally
big.
what areas are. I don't have to fully figure out where I am in the city. Like I know the
Mhm.
nearest airport. I know all of those things. So I think that's definitely making it a bit easier. But I'm so excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really cool that you're going back to a place because I know for me, I've definitely thought about going to college in Alabama. But this is about you. Pittsburgh. I asked you this earlier, but how did you start doing the college application process? Did you apply early to Pitt? Did you apply regular
Yes.
decision?
So Pitt has a rolling deadline. So they open it up on August 1st, and you can submit your application all the way through until I think still they're accepting applications. Like right now, they're about to end.
Wow.
So I applied in October with the rest of my early decision applications, and then I tried to get everything done early decision, early action. Or I didn't do any early decision because I didn't have
Early
a school
action.
that I wanted to bind to that bad, knowing that
Right.
Pittsburgh didn't have that option. Had Pitt had a early decision, I think I would have done early decision for Pitt. But I tried to
Okay.
get everything early action because early action's not binding. So if you get your things done, then it's submitted early, you're getting looked at first. And I think that's a good advice for anybody who's applying to colleges.
Absolutely.
Just then you get those answers sooner too. And then because I submitted Pitt around October, I found out in December. I had all of my colleges no later than January, and I was able to make a decision so much earlier than some of my other friends. And so,
spring.
yeah, get those done early. You can start drafting essays like in the summer. So I started writing my essays in like July because most schools will publish and post their prompts early. And Common App, those essays don't really change year to year. Maybe a couple words.
I think the prompts are out already. They've been out since
Yeah.
spring. No, for sure. That's definitely good advice. You don't have to obviously share too much if you don't want to, but your Common App, was it like military kid based or was it something else random?
I did mine about books.
Okay.
So I did mine about books. I love books. And I wrote it basically on how I don't like movies because they're not the same as books.
Facts.
And I think there was a couple lines about military related, but I definitely didn't write it all about military.
Okay, that's interesting. Because I know some people like...
I was definitely debating it. Like, I was thinking about it.
I mean, because we have that unique experience. But I do know a lot of people just write Common Apps about moving. And you don't want to be like one of those. Like, my life changed because I moved. And I thought it was over, but it wasn't. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Like, yes, that is a valid experience. I'm so glad, like, you got through that. But a lot of people write stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering your approach on that. I think it's interesting how much military life you talk about.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So, since your family's in Singapore, do you get plane tickets back to Singapore?
Yes. So, it's like one a fiscal year or something like that.
Okay.
So, my dad just submitted that today. So, like, I actually have flights now, which is great. But now
that's great. I'm glad you can get to college.
Be getting my mom tickets from the same flight because they'll just get my ticket. They don't care about anybody going with me.
Right.
So that'll be interesting.
God forbid a girl need her mom.
Yeah. Hopefully we end up like one row apart, and then I'm sure somebody would switch. Because if I get stuck on a 16-hour flight, I don't think somebody wants me talking over them to be able to talk to my mom.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
okay,
thank goodness for
college
that.
stuff.
I'll have that for Christmas.
And do you think you're gonna travel more, or just take the one ticket back?
I think I'm just gonna do the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's so expensive. Plus, like,
and that
then
far
like
too.
the time it takes like 24 hours, over 24 hours sometimes to get here. So like, one of my friends in the U.S. was asking if I was going back to Singapore for Thanksgiving, and I was like, no. I'd have to get right back on a plane to come back. I wouldn't even get
like a 2-day, 3-day, 4-day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something like that's kind of sad though. I said this earlier, but my family is going to be moving after my likely freshman year of college, possibly sophomore year, but probably my freshman year of college. And like I said, I already know like if I go to college like in Alabama, they'll probably go as far away from Alabama as possible, maybe overseas, and like we love that. But yeah, it's definitely weird because honestly though, a lot of people retire by the time you get to college. A lot of people retire,
and that was my dad's original plan, but then the Navy just keeps dangling like a little carrot in front of him, and he's like, okay. And so we just keep going. So right now the plan is me and my brother will both be my brother will be out of high school, and he will be like most of the way done with college by the time my dad is planning on getting out, and like we'll have to get out at the latest.
So how many years is that?
I think 2033. Yeah.
That's kind of far away.
No. Yeah, 2033. So we'll see if it goes that long. But
interesting.
Like I know a couple of years ago, I think my freshman year, he was like, yeah, I'll be out like when you graduate high school. Maybe.
That's kind of what I swear that I was told that too. Like,
yeah.
Like maybe. Like,
maybe.
Yeah. But honestly, like you just literally never know. Like I swear, like I don't know what's going on in my life until like 2 days before it happens. Like I could be anywhere. I could be in Singapore next week. You never know.
Well, come visit me.
Absolutely.
I'll still be here next week.
It's honestly like just college life in general is so surreal. Like to me, and I'm not you're going into it. Oh my god.
And I think military kids have a slight advantage. Like we are so used to adapting and getting used to new places that like we're gonna be a leg up on other people. So it's like I've kind of joked with my family that I'm like easing myself into civilian life because I'll be in the same spot for upwards of 7 years if I go to grad school at Pitt as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is insane in and of itself. but I'll be in
Right.
the same spot. But I'll still be moving dorms every year, and so it's like I'm moving, but I'm not.
A little bit.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
easing myself into it.
That's definitely, I have thought about that myself. Like, if I go to college, I'm going to college. Let's hope.
You
I'll
will,
be
you
in the
will.
same school for 4 years, and that's
Yeah,
never happened to me. The
yeah.
most was ever 3, and that was elementary. So it was first,
Mhm,
second, third. Everything else has been 1, basically, since then.
mhm,
Well, 1 or 2. It was a 2-year school once. Everything else was 1 year. So I was like, we
mhm.
got this. We got this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Okay. Life outside of school.
Mm.
What hobbies have followed you everywhere? We talked about this a little, but go ahead.
Yes. So books. My bookshelf is so full. Every time we move, my mom's like, "Are you gonna get rid of some? Because that's taking up a lot of our space in our shipment." I don't have that many books. I do have one full shelf though,
No, our
like
parents were the same, I
bookcase.
think. They be
Yeah,
telling me that too. Like, you know how
yeah,
much weight that is? I'm like,
yeah.
okay, okay, okay.
Anytime I go to buy more books, especially now, they're like, "You can't bring all those to college," and I'm like, "Okay," and I put it back.
I don't know if you know about this, but with your military ID, you get a free membership to
Yes,
Libby. So if
yes,
you
yes,
don't
yes,
have a
yes,
free
yes, yes.
membership to Libby and you love to read, you need to get on that
I
because
do.
they have audiobooks,
Yes.
magazines, and then ebooks. And the ebooks, you can access them on your computer or your phone,
Mhm.
or you can download them to
Yeah,
your Kindle.
and it's
And
such
there's
an
it's a
easy
huge
process.
library.
It's so
Yeah,
easy.
you
You
just
just need
type
your
in,
like cat card to like put
uh-huh.
in your number, and then you're done. DoD
Yeah,
MWR library, whatever it's called.
yeah.
I
It's
have, and then
so
I still
awesome.
have the my library card on my Libby. I have the MWR one, but then I also have the Pittsburgh one from when we lived there. That so
Uh-huh.
I've got both. So it's if it's not available on one of them, it's probably available on the other.
That's awesome. And that's also true. Public libraries also have Libby's sometimes. So
Mhm.
ask around. Like, it's
Yes.
so awesome. Now I've definitely saved money because I don't have to. I mean, holding a book is great, but I'm
Yeah.
actually into audiobooks a lot, so
Mm.
I do that. It's like I can multitask.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely do that. And even if you think you don't love to read, you should discover audiobooks because personally,
Yes.
it's
You're
really
gonna
fun.
find something. I love
Yeah, and
books.
there's also other stuff on there too. Like, there's so
Yes.
much stuff, all types of genres. And
Mhm.
then I haven't even like really, I'm not a big magazine person, but there's also a ton of magazines I saw.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
definitely do that. Okay, other hobbies besides reading.
I also do choir, so I've done that in
Okay,
every school I've been at since 5th grade. And then I crochet a lot.
okay.
I make a lot of stuffed animals mostly. So like hanging up
Oh,
behind me, I have this little jellyfish that I made.
how
Um,
cute.
and then I've started recently getting into other things, or like back to books. I crochet Kindle my cases for my Kindle. So here's one of them because
That's
it's right next to
adorable
me.
as
It's
Rapunzel.
like yes, I love Tangled. My family is such a big Disney family. That's another
Okay.
plus to living overseas is we have now gone. We are just missing the Shanghai Disneyland park. We've been to all the other
Oh,
ones.
wow.
Yeah. So
Exciting.
yes. So I would count Disney as a hobby, honestly.
Oh, for sure.
Let's see. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? I bake a lot. I do that too.
Okay. So you
But
use those
books is my main
hobbies,
one. Books and reading.
keep you grounded.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh, and theater. I forgot theater.
oh yes. So very artistical
Yes. Although I
hobbies.
cannot
I love
draw
that.
for the life of me.
Okay, so everything but like the art part of
Yes.
artistical.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, that's exciting. And you also do Bloom, which you can talk
Yes.
about a little bit.
Yeah.
So, what do you do at Bloom?
So
And what is
I'm a
Bloom
blog
for people who
writer.
don't know?
Oh yeah. Bloom
Yeah.
is a blog written and run by military teens, U.S. military teens all over the place. I will say there's a ton of people in like the Midwest-ish of the U.S. for some reason.
Okay.
Not as many overseas, but there are plenty. I'm the only one in Singapore, but there's not many military teens to begin with in Singapore. So,
Right.
but I started reading the blog and looking at all those art pieces and poems and videos and quizzes and everything on the Bloom website in, I think, 8th grade, maybe 7th grade. But I didn't actually apply to be a member until my senior year. I applied in
Hmm.
October of 2025, and I submitted some writing samples, and I got it, and I am now a blog writer. But it's so sad because I'm
Exciting.
aging out in a couple months.
Yeah.
So I wish I did that earlier. because I didn't even think I liked to write. Like, I love to read, and I've been told for years, like, my writing's decent and, like, good, but I just never liked reading or writing for school. I only liked doing it for me, and, like, I don't even journal or anything. But then I
Okay.
started to do a couple things. I started a reading Instagram account and blog my junior year
Go
for a
follow
school project.
in
Yeah, Tales of
description.
a Teen Reader. um, and I realized just how fun writing can be when I'm talking about something I'm passionate about. And so that's most of the samples that I submitted for Bloom were from that blog. It has not been updated in very long, but the Instagram page has. But so I applied and I got that position in November, and I think I've done 4, and I'm about to do my 5th article for Bloom. But I'm so glad I found that, because it's been so fun to be able to talk to people from different like places overseas, and in the US, and being able to talk about these military related things. It's actually how I found Home is Where the Heart Is, and that Milteen was because somebody put it on the Discord server. And so it's been great, and I really wish I joined sooner, because I had just this amazing community that in Singapore I don't have much of, because there's not many military teens, and there's only like, I think currently there's less than 10 in Singapore US military teens.
That's
and
insane.
So, and that's like all of high school, there's like 10, because so many people are moving in and out, and there's so many just younger families.
Yeah, is there a particular reason why it's only like...
Yeah, I don't know. There's just teens? Like the people, it tends to be a lot of more junior families, I guess. And then just, for some reason, there's so many elementary kids. There used to be a little bit more teens, but then just people would move away, and the families that would replace them have like 3 or 4 elementary kids.
And a lot of people choose not to with high school kids, because they're like, oh, they should have constant high school. So maybe that's a big part of it.
That also, there's a lot of people who geo-batch here. And like their families will still be in the US, and then they'll come here.
That's what I mostly heard, especially like that's a lot of overseas assignments too. But back to Bloom. I got distracted. Bloom's okay, so when this episode comes out, I will have already done 2 episodes, actually 3 episodes, maybe 2. And then my 3rd will be coming out after this is out. Anyway, I have talked to Bloom, and you should go listen to those episodes, because we're talking all about Bloom. And Bloom's application season is opening very, very soon. I want to say September.
I think
possibly August. I believe September.
Yeah.
So in our Bloom episode, we talked about how they said this themselves. This is a quote. Bloom doesn't really have reason to reject people. So if you are a passionate military teen who will do volunteer work for Bloom, they would love to have you. So check that out.
It's such an awesome community. I love it.
Yeah. And just feeling like connected. And if you don't want to volunteer with Bloom, I was going to say there's so many things within Bloom that you can do. Yes. Like there's a job for you if you want it.
Yes.
Essentially is what I've been told, at least.
Yes.
And there's all kinds of things.
There's like the social media team, there's the art team, there's blog writing, blog editing, communications. Like there is so much to do within Bloom.
And I heard they're in dire need of graphic designers. And they do use Canva Premium. So if you want some Canva Premium to help Bloom out, check that out. And back to you said, the editor. Yeah. So, you know, it was so funny. I was meeting with Lily about our projects. We're doing like some stuff together, you know, Freedom Sem and Home is Where the Heart Is. And she got an email after our meeting was over, and it was her, whoever. And they said, hey, can you do this spotlight? And it was my spotlight that I submitted. And so we literally like met each other, and then she got an email like, hey, can you please do the spotlight? And it was my spotlight. And I was like, that's so funny. Like and now you know Lily. I'm like, gosh,
Lily has edited a couple of my articles. And like that's how I started talking to her, and then I've gotten involved a little bit with her Freedom Stem as well. So it's
her project is really cool. Go check it out.
Yes.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. Small world.
Yes.
Anyway. Okay. How did moving affect any of your extracurriculars? You said you kept a lot constant. Are there any that you had to quit or
so rowing definitely was a lot harder here. There is a Singaporean national team. I've actually met one of them, which was so cool, because I didn't even realize she was an Olympian when I first met her, because she was like, I just got introduced, and they're like, hey, here's Joan, you should talk to Joan for a minute. And then I went home and realized, oh wait, she went to Rio. That's insane. So I ended up sort of quitting here just because it is the one boathouse that I can do it is about an hour away from my house. It's on like the
It's a bit
other
long.
side of the island. And then it would take like 2 hours by public transport, which Singapore public transport is amazing. So it's really saying something that it's really far out there. So it's just not as feasible because my family has one car.
Okay.
So I have been keeping up on the rowing machine at the gym. My family has one as well because my dad likes doing that for the fitness test. He says it's a lot better, which I agree. It's so much more fun than running too.
Of
So I've been
course.
doing that, and I only was able to go out on the water one time. It's like one random time that I got to do like a learn to row thing, which is usually what the event that most boathouses will have for people that have no idea what they're doing when it comes to the
Hmm.
sport. And so it was really funny because I show up and this was my sophomore year. So it's like our first year back in Singapore. And I went with my dad, but he came just to drop me off. And then it was this 20-something-year-old British guy who had no idea what he was doing. He had done like the indoor machine before, but he wanted to try on the water. And then this like 60-year-old, I think he was also British, who was like from the rowing club to like run the thing. I ended up getting put
Uh-huh.
in a single, so just one person in the boat. And then the other guy ended up also getting put in a single. Mind you, this was my first time in a single. I was usually
Uh-huh.
in 4-person boats or two when I was in Pittsburgh, so that was a fun experience.
Definitely.
But that was the only time that I've been on the water in the entirety of the 3 years we've been here now. But Pitt
Which
has a
is,
club
yeah.
team, and that's part of why I'm going to Pitt as well, is so that I can get back into that. So I'm so excited.
That is so exciting.
For rowing, it's a club. So like any other club sport, like soccer or volleyball or whatnot, like you have to pay, and it can be a decent amount of money. So that was another reason my family decided not to, just because I got involved with so many other things as well that we didn't know how much time I would be able to dedicate it towards it,
Right.
rather than when we were in Pittsburgh and that was like my main thing. So,
Mhm.
but everything else
For
has
sure.
been able to keep up, which has been great.
No-
And I still get rowing somehow, so it's not like I completely lost it. It just changed quite a bit.
Right. And then just like the act of it being just so inconvenient. But college soon, rowing soon.
Yes,
Exciting,
I'm so
exciting.
excited.
Okay. Let's do like some like rapid fire, okay?
Okay.
What was the biggest culture shock coming overseas?
I don't think there is one because I don't remember when we moved here the first time, but there's definitely been reverse culture shocks when we've gone back to visit family in the US.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
how big everything is. Like, I know with the World Cup, like everybody who was visiting the US for the World Cup was like, the portions are so big and everything. And I feel that for sure because after being here for so long, it's like, yeah, everything is so big. Refills are not really a thing here. Public transport is so nice and clean and great and efficient here.
Yes.
And also just safe. Like, I'm completely fine walking home from the train station with both AirPods in at night here. Versus
Wow,
in the US,
saying
I'm like, I
something,
could
yeah.
never do that.
Right. Okay. Next. Favorite foods.
Hainanese chicken rice. It's
Okay.
a Malaysian thing, but then also very much a Singaporean thing.
Okay.
It's like the rice is cooked with like chicken seasonings and whatnot, so the rice kind of tastes like chicken. But it's really, really good. I know it sounds weird, but like it is a very classic Singaporean thing, and I love it so much.
Okay, awesome. Favorite hidden jewel in Singapore or in America, I guess. Pittsburgh. You could do either.
I have one specific, I think I mentioned this earlier, but hawker centers, they're like open air food courts. There is one specific one that is like, me and my dad randomly found it one day, that it was like a 5-minute walk from one of the train stations that we were passing through, and we were hungry for lunch. That is our favorite spot for chicken rice. So one of the hawker centers that's like 5-minute walk from the Ang Mo Kio MRT station, that one's the best. That's my favorite.
Okay, fire. Okay, what should you know before living in Singapore?
It's very easy to figure out. It's not like other overseas stuff and places.
Okay.
Because Singapore English is one of the main languages, so all the signage is in English. Everyone, for the most part, speaks English, except for the older people that just don't want to speak English and will speak Mandarin or Malaysian or whatever their like mother tongue language is. But for the most part, everyone speaks English, and it's really easy to figure out.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. What's a moment that perfectly sums up being a military kid?
Oh, yeah. So last week I was in Japan. Singapore is one of the places where they have AMC, like Space A flights that go from Singapore to Yokota Air Force Base in Japan. And so then I was there. I did like a little bit of a solo trip. My dad then had a work trip in Yokosuka, the Navy base. So I flew to Yokota by myself, went to Tokyo, spent a couple nights at the new sauna, which I love the new sauna. And then my dad flew in Saturday. And then we went to Yokosuka on Sunday. And then I think this was Wednesday. We were eating lunch at the food court, which was great because I hadn't had Panda Express in so long. But it's so weird now having actual Asian food that I'm like, why did I love this so much? I don't know, but it was still good. But I was like people watching out the window, and my dad was talking to me, and I just kind of stopped paying attention because I'm looking out the window. I'm like, wait, that person looks really familiar. She turns and looks at me, and we just kind of like point at each other. And like my dad was like, it was like the Spider-Man meme where everyone is pointing at each other. Because I'm like, wait, is that who I think it is? And she's looking at me thinking the same thing. She runs around the corner to the door, runs in. She had been stationed in Singapore until last summer, and she is a year older than me. So she just finished her freshman year at college. And so it was so fun because I hadn't seen her in like a year and a half, 2 years, because her family left and she was in college. And so we got to just chat a bit. And I was like, that is so random that we just both happened to be there.
Absolutely. I love that. Oh my goodness. This has been such a great talk. So exciting.
It's been great.
Yes.
It's worth staying up late for.
Yes, Zoey's 12 hours ahead, so it is actually probably past her bedtime. I mean, past my bedtime if I were you.
10 p.m.
But yeah. Thank you so much, Zoey, for talking today. And if you want to share your story and be on my podcast just like Zoey, please email me because I want to hear your story and we can connect. Thanks for listening to Home is Where the Heart Is. I'm Allie, and I hope today's episode reminded you that you're not alone. We're all in this together. If you want to share your story, email me at thatmilteen@gmail.com or find me on Instagram at thatmilteen to stay up to date in our community. If you're listening on Spotify, please rate the podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, interacting with this video helps us reach more kids like you. Remember, home isn't just a place, it's where your heart is. Bye!